What's up, friend? It's great to see you. Thanks for joining me for this 11-minute toned arms workout. Let's begin by standing in an upright kneeling position. Starting with our hands at center, we'll bend through the elbows and rotate through the shoulders, making sure everything is nice and warm. Beautiful job. Finishing up the last rep of this warm-up and moving into a shoulder rotation. I'm keeping my left hand on my lower abdomen as I bring my arm around, palm facing up, and once I pass through, I'll rotate that palm down and return to my starting position. You can also have a bent elbow here if you're feeling any discomfort or if you have any pre-existing shoulder injuries. Make sure to bend that arm. Taking your time here, inhaling as the palm comes up, exhaling as you rotate that palm back down. Wonderful job. We'll stop here and take it to the other side. The setup is the same. And again, if you need to bend the elbow as you rotate that arm around, feel free to do so. Excellent job bringing that arm back to center, and we'll begin setting up for our next exercise. Go ahead and meet me in tabletop, making sure our wrists are under our shoulders and knees are under our hips. Flexing through the toes, we're bringing our knees into a hovered position and shooting the hips up and back as our head rests in between the shoulders. For a nice inversion, coming back down, keeping those knees hovered if you can. If you need to rest them on the mat, that's fine. We're alternating between these two movements, focusing on loading the shoulders and arm muscles as we come back into this hovered tabletop pose. Approaching our last repetition, bringing those knees back down, holding that hovered position for just a moment and resting those knees back on the mat. Go ahead and relax the feet and come up off of your wrists for a bit. Give them a little shake, a little twist. As we plant our hands back under the shoulders for our next exercise, I'll be walking my knees back away from my hands, setting myself up for a push-up position. Making sure that my hands are a little forward so that when I create that neutral hip and spine and begin to descend towards the mat, my hands are placed outside my chest. A little readjusting here if you need to. and slowly descend. Hold at the bottom for a second and exhale, press through. Inhale as we come down, exhale to press out. Feet are relaxed. You can also worm yourself down and up if you don't have a modified push-up yet. It's just as effective. You're still loading the same muscle groups. There's a lot of options here, and if you have a full push-up, you can always come onto the toes, start in that plank position, and inhale to lower down, exhale to press out. Hang with me here. We have a few more. You're doing absolutely great. Getting a little shaky through the arms. That's how we know we're working hard here. Holding a strong position, whichever version you're doing. Coming in for our last rep, descending towards the mat and pressing ourselves out. Drop those knees, relax those feet, shift your hips back into child's pose. You can go wide through the knees as well if that feels nice. Enjoy a rebound stretch for a second. Well done. Slowly bring yourself out of child's pose. We're setting up our next exercise, which will involve horizontal forearms. So we're stacking them one on top of the other, bringing our knees back a step and shifting our hips forward, keeping this neutral spine and hip. I'm rotating to one side on my knees, keeping one forearm placed on the ground, and going from side to side, extending the free arm up overhead for a nice thoracic stretch, keeping those feet glued together as I rotate through these two movements. I love how this exercise involves a lot of trunk control and plenty of arm muscle recruitment as we shift our weight from side to side. We're heading into our final side plank, coming back to center, stacking those forearms horizontally, and coming up onto our hands, relaxing the feet and shifting our hips back and down again for a nice child's pose break. Great job. You can slowly come out of child's pose. The setup for this next portion will be the same, horizontal forearms, and I'm going to offer a layer 2 version here. You're more than welcome to keep your knees on the mat with your feet glued together, or you can lift through the knees, come into a traditional side plank, and rotate the body side to side from this layer 2 position, which loads the arm muscles a bit more and requires a bit more trunk stabilization. And as we rotate the body back and forth, we are moving through that onto our toes. So there's a few differences here, but again, you get to choose your own adventure. It's completely up to you. We have a few more. Stay strong, keep that core nice and engaged. You're doing wonderful. Approaching our final side, back to center, and go ahead and drop those knees, relax those feet, and again, a little break in child's pose before our next exercise. Well done. Slowly come out of child's pose and make your way to a seated position on the mat. Legs will extend out in front of the body. Arms are at our sides with our wrists stacked under our shoulders and toes pointed, fingertips facing forward. After your setup is complete, we're driving through the heels, engaging those tricep muscles as we lift the hips off of the ground, as far away from the mat as possible, and holding that position for a second or two at the top before gently lowering yourself back down to the mat. This is a great tricep burner. Requires a lot of stability. We're not here for much longer. You're doing great. Give me one more good rep, holding that extension, lowering slowly, and give your arms a break. Come back to a seated position, and well done. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this arm workout, and I will catch you next time.